Hi guys, this is Kenneth Wong from the Zodiac Consulting Group, and welcome to the outlook for July 2024, the month of the metal goat. Now, in the month of July, we have the yin metal in the heavenly stem. Now, it will combine with the yang fire in the month pillar of the annual chart. Now, this is what we call the heavenly combination, and it produces the water element. Now, the water element, with reference to the annual chart, refers to the wealth energy. Now, a lot of us, when we hear the term wealth energy, we get really happy. Now, do remember that the day master of the year is the Wu Earth or the Yang Earth. All right. Now, the Yang Earth is born in the season of wood, which makes it a very weak day master. So, when we have a weak day master chart for the year, it normally means that the year is not strong enough to handle the volatilities of the year. Now, in the month of July, when the water energy is being produced, there's a very high chance that the strength of the annual chart is not able to handle this excessive or this new introduction of the wealth energy. Now, based on past studies, any interactions such as combinations on the heavenly stems, normally it talks about a certain perception. That means what we think is going on, okay, but it might not be the truth. Okay, so sometimes people say this might be a fake impression, or this is just the general surface perception that the month actually gives us. Strength of the annual chart is not strong enough to handle the new introduction of the wealth energy. So we can expect certain financial volatility. So when we talk about financial volatility, we could talk about, fluctuations, more frequent fluctuations of the stock market. We can talk about certain liquidity crisis happening in the economy. We can talk about more violent fluctuations of more volatile assets, for example. All this will fall under the financial volatility. On the surface, this is what's being shown to us. But in reality, when we go deeper into the wealth and career aspect of the month, all right, we can see that there is a relationship between the goat and the tiger. Okay, now the goat and the tiger on the surface, it has no relationship. However, inside the hidden stems, right, you have the yin earth in the goat and you have the yang wood in the tiger. This forms a hidden combination, which means that there is no interactions between the animal signs, but there is a combination happening inside. That means in the hidden stems of the animal signs. All right, and this is what we call hidden combination. Now, hidden combination normally talks about certain reorganization, certain new arrangements, certain internal restructuring or inner workings, right? That is out of the public's eye. All right. So this is all happening in the undercurrent. Okay. And it is producing the earth element. Now, the earth element, with reference to the annual chart, produces the friend and rock wealth. Now, friend normally talks about manpower or the people around us. Rock wealth has multiple references. However, rock wealth normally talks about loss of money. That's the most traditional way of reading it, right? Loss of money, normally it talks about loss of jobs or even quitting, okay, based on your own decision, or basically stopping a certain cash flow. All right. So that normally talks about rock wealth. Okay. Now, on the other hand, rock wealth could talk about a new arrangement. It could talk about not losing your job, but committing to working harder. All right. So these are basically multiple references. Now, so what does this actually mean? It could mean the hidden combination could mean internal reorganization. All right, internal reorganization of maybe the governments, maybe big companies, right? Even your companies. And it talks about manpower movements. Now, before we go into the doom and gloom, All right, guys, before we go into doom and gloom, manpower movements do not necessarily mean losing jobs. It could mean that, okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. However, it could mean taking up more work. Okay, it could mean internal transfers. It could mean taking on new positions or added job scopes. All right, or maybe additional short-term projects or short-term contracts. It could mean all that. Now, there is another relationship between the goat and the dog, and this relationship is called the destruction. Okay, now destruction normally means sudden changes or very fast moving changes happening. All right, and it has a certain nature of restructuring, pivoting, or reorganization. Plus, it has a side effect of bullying punishment. Now, bullying punishment means there is a self-inflicted decision-making process that created an outcome that bullies you in return. Okay, this could be wrong decisions, making wrong guesses, or maybe acting out of impulse. So certain restructuring might trigger certain hidden grievances or unhappiness, which might produce a helpless situation. Now, helpless situation could have two potential scenarios, okay? One is, in order to keep your job, you say yes to additional work with the same remuneration, okay? The other potential scenario is you quit your job out of anger, impulse, okay? Or you make certain decisions that that felt really really fulfilling at that very moment, but it might create like 3 to 6 months of non-salary situations, right? So this also talks about a helpless situation. And because it is a punishment relationship, normally it's self-inflicted. So the indication over here is that this month there is a chance of people feeling the need to act very impulsively. Maybe they lose track of their emotions. They are not thinking straight. They get really aggressive and they make a certain rash decision, which in turn will come back and punish them down the road. So if we put both relationships together, what do we get? We get in restructuring, which will trigger internal reorganization, redeployments, rearrangements, for example. All right, there will be manpower movements, whether it's by choice or whether it's by impulsive decisions. All right, and there is a very high chance that most of us would not like, okay, the situation that we face. All right. As I said, right, you could keep your job but say yes to additional workload, or you can quit, okay, out of impulse, right, and then you might suffer the consequences. So please pay very, very close attention, and please, try your very, very best. I know it's difficult, okay, but when you're angry, when you're annoyed, and when you have this excessive compulsion, okay, to fire your boss, okay, or basically call it a day, think twice before acting. All right, that's all I'm asking from you guys. All right, and of course, one added layer that I might want to mention in this monthly outlook this time around is a category called social safety. The month of July has a hurting officer on the top, okay, and it has a rock wealth at the bottom. Okay, now, hurting officer talks about going against the system. That's why it's called hurting officer, because officer talks about rules and regulations. It talks about the current system. It talks about governance. Hurting officer, what does he hurt the officer? Is because this is the star that goes against the current system, the status quo, the norm. All right, which talks about rules and regulations. It talks about bending the rules as well. Okay, and Rockwell talks about group aggression. Okay, now a hidden combination between the tiger and the goat. It also produces additional rock wealth energy, and the destruction And bullying punishment involves going against the norm and creating a regretful situation. So, guys, can you roughly feel the aggressive energy of July 2024? Rock wealth is normally an energy that talks about being a bit more violent, all right, whether it's in behavior or in thoughts, okay? But rock wealth is about group activities, okay? It's about people coming together and fighting for a common cause or a common goal. All right, so that's why I'm talking about group aggression. Okay, it could talk about small gatherings, it could talk about riots, it could talk about taking sides, for example, and especially maybe even going against certain laws, going against the current government. Okay, I'm not saying this is set in stone, but this energy does reflect potential activities like this. Okay, so this is the time where I hope I'm wrong, but just in case, please be safe, especially in areas where current elections are going on. All right, so I'm giving you this extra information, and in return, I just need you guys to do me a favor, and that is please be safe and take care of yourselves. All right. Now, if you like what I'm sharing so far and you like this format, all right, I would greatly appreciate if you could subscribe, like, and share with your close friends and family. And if you need more hot tips like feng shui activations or additional classes or tips beyond this monthly forecast, please scan the QR code and join my Telegram group where I'll be sharing certain information only among my inner circle within my Telegram group. Now, if you have the pig, horse, dog, rat, ox, rabbit, and goat, you will definitely be affected by the energy of July. Now, let's start with the goat. Now, based on the outlook of July, the auxiliary stars at play will be the Great Assembly, Sky Killing, and Hook Spirit in terms of the negative energies. Now, Great Assembly talks about noise, rejection, opposing opinions, arguments, right? A bit of heated conversations, right? Disagreements in a group. All right. So there's a lot of group noise. All right. Sky killing means things are very bumpy. It is not smooth. It's a lot of problem solving. All right. And hook spirit talks about you holding on to past expectations, or just say certain expectations that you find very hard to let go of. Now, remember, if you have the goat in your chart, and this year, or I would say this month, you're feeling this increased aggressive energy, learn to let go. If things don't go your way, learn to be more receptive, flexible, and let go for the time being. All right. You can come back to it when the situation is more conducive. All right, because the longer you hold on to past expectations or unfulfilled expectations, the more your progression is going to be delayed. All right. Now, in terms of the positive energy, you still have the heavenly E, the moon, and the heavenly officer. Now, heavenly E means divine nobleman energy. Okay, so do not let the hook spirit get in the way of things happening in your favor. All right, the moon is a learning well star. So whatever that is forcing you to change or is causing a bit of problems for you, you are supposed to learn so that you can take advantage of the situation, all right, and profit from it. Okay, and you definitely have the support of your superiors and bosses. Okay, so the faster you let go, the faster you progress and pivot towards the right direction. Now, if you have the horse, all right, you have the negative energies of instability, separating age, and prison star. Now, instability means there are a lot of trial and error going on in your working environment. That means everybody is trying to, basically everyone's trying to find a solution. Everybody's trying to find the best way moving forward, right? So there's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of testing the water. There's a lot of, basically finding the right solutions. Okay, so that's why the whole situation is facing constant changes. That's why it's causing a lot of instability. Now, separating age talks about people distancing themselves away from each other. So this talks about maybe people losing their jobs or switching departments or even quitting or retiring. Okay, and prison star means sometimes you might feel that your current situation is trapping you. For example, you do not want to take on the additional job roles, but you need your job. All right. So you have no choice but to say yes. All right. Just bite the bullet for now and keep your eyes on the overall objective of having a job for now. Okay. Now the positive energy talks about the relief god and the heavenly relief. Now these are double relief stars, which means whatever problems that you face, you do have the ability to solve them. You just need certain level of commitment and patience. Okay, now be very careful because you also have one more positive energy called the eight seeds. Now, eight seeds generally is positive because it's the star of fame, it's the star of attention, it's the star of visibility. That means whatever good work that you do, everybody gives you that recognition. But on the same note, all right, if you make a mistake, everybody can see it as well. So remember, it's a double-edged sword. All right, so make sure that you are always compliant, you're always way above board, all right, and make sure you don't take unnecessary risk, and definitely do not operate in the gray area in this month. All right. Now, if you have the rabbit, all right, you have the sixth calamity and the goat blade. Now, sixth calamity talks about making mistakes. Remember, I told you about impulsiveness. All right, this is one of it. Okay, and goat blade, normally goat blade in terms of health is talking about cutting and bleeding, but in terms of relationships, is about cutting ties. So this is also saying bye-bye to people around you. Okay, now surpassing path is one of the positive energy that you enjoy this year. Now, surpassing path talks about opportunities coming to you because of your past track record, because of your past achievements or your past experience. Okay, so when you say bye bye to certain people, maybe it's also because you're welcoming a new opportunity. All right. Now, if you have the peg in your Bazi chart, you are under the influence of the brutal defeat, death god, and heavenly officer charm as the negative energies. Now, brutal defeat talks about sudden success and sudden failures. Now, this is very annoying because the brutal defeat normally happens when everything is going well. Okay, now it's normally triggered because of complacency, carelessness, or recklessness, or impatience. Just say you were just lazy to check, and then there was some mistake as a result. You whatever that you have done well for the first part of the year, you lost it. Okay, that's called the brutal defeat. Okay, Death God also talks about making mistakes, and Heavenly Officer Charm talks about compliance issues. Normally, this does not talk about your immediate boss, but it talks about higher government authorities who deals with certain compliance issues. Okay, so please, if you have the peg in your chart, make sure that you're above board, right? And any risk that you take, make sure it's manageable. All right. At the same time, you also have the Emperor Star and Dragon Virtue. Now, every year, these are one of the top two very powerful stars that we like to see. All right. Now, the Emperor Star, apart from great leadership, it also talks about the star of resourcefulness. That means whatever you need, even if you get penalized for compliance issues, right? You do have the ability to find the necessary help, resources, connections to help you get through this. Okay, and Dragon Virtue talks about a fantastic problem solving ability. Now, it is so powerful that not only are you able to solve the problem, you're able to compartmentalize the problem and make it irrelevant. Okay, so that's the power of the Dragon Virtue. Now, if you have the Ox, right, you are under the negative energy of the lonesome star, wear mourning and pulling saddle. Now, lonesome star means you have moments whereby you feel that no one understands you. Now, do not feel too sorry for yourself because the most of the time, when you have the lonesome star, right, that's because you're in a position that other people do not have the privilege to be in. All right. So do not expect people to be empathetic towards you because you are the one enjoying that position and not the rest. Okay. Now, where morning means you have a chance to experience an undesirable event. Okay. It might not affect you directly, but it just means that you have the opportunity. I won't say opportunity, you have the chance to witness it. For example, people getting retrenched or people losing their jobs, or basically people, quitting out of impulse, right? Basically, it's an event that is not so desirable, right? But not necessarily affecting you directly. Okay. Now, pulling saddle means sudden changes, right? Sudden changes talks about sudden pivots. All right. As long as you are mentally receptive towards constant changes, you'll be fine. All right. Now, you also have the positive energies of the Jade Hall, Fortune Virtue, Prosperity Star, and Sky Gracious. Now, Fortune Virtue talks about dumb luck. That means whatever happens is lucky. All right. So if your boss says jump, ask how high. All right. Basically, it's just lucky things happening for you because the Jade Hall also means that whatever new things that come to you, it increases your value as well. That's what the Jade Hall means. All right. And then Prosperity Star talks about abundance in opportunities, abundance in connections, abundance in resources, abundance in mentorship and noblemen. All right. And Sky Gracious talks about a physical human being helping you get to the next milestone. So basically, on the surface, it might look something undesirable, but as long as you embrace it, good things will come your way. Now, if you have the dog in your chart, you are under the influence of the year breaker. Now, year breaker talks about a flipping situation. For example, you have been working as an employee for the last 20 years, now you retire. All right. Or you could be an employee for a very long time. Suddenly you decide to quit and become your own boss. All right. So that's what we call a flipping situation. Okay. Now, greater consumer means one lump sum of money coming out or one lump sum of effort coming out. In normal circumstances, we normally talk about this being, putting down a deposit for a house or a big ticket item. But based on the energy of July 2024, this could mean losing a major payout. Okay. Now, Leopard Tail talks about not so nice working relationships or offending people. Okay. So all this talks about your situation flipping. All right. Now, you also have two positive energies. National treasure means elevating yourself to a position of higher authority. Now, depends on how you take it, right? Again, under normal circumstances, this might talk about a promotion, or it could talk about having the opportunity to spearhead a new project. Okay. But sometimes national treasure talks about a position of higher authority. That means you report to no one. Now, how you take it is really dependent on you. Okay. And month emptiness talks about the ability to solve problems because month emptiness talks about a void, and anything that comes past gets sucked in and disappears. All right. So maybe one of those issues might be you finally quit as a solution to a toxic working environment. Okay, this is in alignment with the monthly energy of July. Okay, if not, you might embark on a really great but challenging opportunity that allows you to spearhead certain new initiatives or campaigns, right? And your major job scope is to solve problems. And finally, right, if you have the rat in your chart, all right, you have three negative energies: white tiger, peeling head, and sky warrior. White tiger means a lot of energy required, very exhausting. Peeling head means very stressful, and sky warrior means constantly having to deal with ongoing problems and recurring problems. That's why it's very, very annoying. Okay. And the positive energy talks about the golden lock and general star, which means, right, it is a great wealth opportunity, but you have to be the one to take the initiative to step up to the playing field and lead the way. All right. That's the reason why the side effects of doing all this is the white tiger, peeling head, and sky warrior. So as long as you are willing to step up, all right, even though it is challenging, right, it will lead you to a better place. Okay, guys, so that's the end of the outlook for the month of July. If you like what I've just shared and you see value in this, please help me subscribe, like, and share, and join my Telegram group if you want more tips. All right. On that note, my name is Kenneth Wong. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you next month.